આપણે બે માયુને ગુમાવ્યા છે, જે કોમની શોભા હતી, કોમ માટે સહારો હતો, એના બચા માટે સહારો હતો, પણ અલ્લાહ બહેતર જાણે છે એની મસલિયત. તો આપણા મૌલાના એની માને જોવા ગયા હતા અલ્હમ્દુલિલ્લાહ, અને ઉપડ્યા ને બીજે દિવસે આઈ થિંક હી વોઝ ઇન ધ ફ્લાઇટ પહોંચી ગયા ને એની માં અલ્લાહને પ્યારા થઈ ગયા છે. બીજું ફઝલેભાઈ ભાનજી, ભાઈ ફઝલેભાઈની આ બધી કોમની ખિદમત કરે છે એ હું ફઝલેભાઈને ક્રેડિટ નથી આપતો, હું એની માને ક્રેડિટ આપું છું. કે એની માની કેળવણી, એની માની અપબ્રિંગિંગ, કે ફઝલેભાઈના દિલમાં કોમ પ્રત્યે લાગણી, કોમનું કામ કરવા માટે પ્યાર, તો એ પણ બિચારા ચાલ્યા ગયા. મને વધારે અફસોસ ફઝલેભાઈથી વધારે લાગે છે કે મારી મા હંમેશા કહેતા હતા કે અમને 3 નામ આપતા હતા કે આ 3 જણાને મેં કુરાન, મારી મા કુરાન શીખાડતા હતા, તો 3 જણાને કુરાનમાં બહુ ફખર તેને, શી વોઝ વેરી પ્રાઉડ કે મેં આ 3 જણાને, એક મુલ્લા અફઝલ ખાકી મરું, એને મારી માએ કુરાન શીખવ્યું છે, એક મુલ્લા કાસમ, એને પણ મારી માએ કુરાન, ને ફઝલેની માને પણ ફતુબાઈને મારી માએ કુરાન શીખવ્યું છે. તો ભાઈઓ આપણે દુઆ કરીએ યા રબ્બી, તો અમારી માઓ ચાલ્યા ગયા છે, કોમમાં એક ખોટ આવી ગઈ છે, પણ અલ્લાહ એમને સહી સલામત રાખે, એને જન્નતમાં આલિશાન મકામ આપે અને એના બધા ગુનાહ નાના મોટા માફ કરી આપે. તો ભાઈઓ આપણે બે મરૂમ મા માટે સૂરતુલ મુબારકતુલ ફાતિહા. ભાઈ હું એક રિક્વેસ્ટ કરીશ ફઝલેભાઈને કે 2 શબ્દ બોલે.
I begin in the name of Allah, the most kind, the most merciful. Peace and blessings be upon the Holy Prophet and his pure progeny. Peace and blessings be upon you all. Translating into Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, my gratitude to the seniors for organizing this meeting during this time when we are devastated. These trying times are very difficult, and such meetings, such nice words of condolences are much appreciated, sir. I had a few telephone calls when from abroad from my friends and near ones, and they were surprised to know that the funeral was going to take place within few hours. You see, people living abroad, they have so much challenges, the formalities, the country formalities, county formalities. Alhamdulillah, all this was sorted out. Our funeral committee, mashallah, has done a wonderful job. Both my parents passed away over the weekend. My father was buried on Sunday night, my mom was buried on Saturday night. Such a difficult time, you know, during the weekends, people resting, but alhamdulillah, the funeral committee were on their toes. They made sure everything was done in time. I have no much to say, but we bow down in total submission to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the verses of the Holy Quran, Rizan bi qadai wa tasliman bi amri. Finally, I would request you all to join me in sending our salutations and greetings to our living Imam on the birth anniversary of our 8th Imam, Imam Ali Riza alayhi salam, Imam Zamin, who is also, when we recite the ziyarat, we very clearly say, Assalamu alayka ya gharib al-ghuraba Sultan Abul Hasan Ali ibn Musa Riza kun shafi'una wa shafi'a walidaina fi yawmil jazai wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
અગેન ભાઈ અબ્બાસભાઈ, તમારા કુટુંબીઓને અમારા તરફથી ખરખરો કરજો ને અમે તમારા ગમમાં સામેલ છે. ભાઈઓ હવે આપનો આજનો પ્રોગ્રામ શરૂ કરીએ. સૌથી પહેલાં તો આજે રાતના ઇમામ રઝા અલૈહિસ્સલામની વિલાદત છે, તો તમને બધાને ઇમામની વિલાદતની મુબારકી આપું છું, અને આપણે રાતના પાછા ઇન્શાલ્લાહ મજલિસમાં એ મળશું. ભાઈઓ આજે પ્રોગ્રામમાં સૌથી પહેલાં આપણે ગ્રેટફુલ છે મુર્તઝાભાઈ જાફરનો, જે બિલાલના હરતા કરતા છે. બિલાલ માશાલ્લાહ ઘણું કરે છે, આપણને વધારે માજી પ્રમુખ બિલાલના પણ અહીંયા છે, અબ્બાસ નાસર, તાજેતરના પ્રમુખ હમણાંના પ્રમુખ ઇકબાલભાઈ પણ અહીંયા છે. એટલે આજે આપણે વી હેવ બીન એન્ગલ્ફડ બાય ધ બિલાલ છે. તો હું મુર્તઝાભાઈને રજા આપું છું કે તમે પ્લીઝ તમારું પ્રવચન શરૂ કરો.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Thank you, Masum Bhai, કે બીજો મોકો આપ્યો મને બોલવાનો. બિલાલમાં ખાસ બોલવાનું નથી મળતું, તો તમે ચાન્સ આપ્યો આજે મને પાછું. પહેલાં તો અલ્લાહની મહેરબાની છે કે બીજી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી મળી બિલાલમાં સર્વ કરવાની, અને ઘણા કામ કર્યા છે દુનિયામાં, પણ આ કામ જેવી મજા બીજે ક્યાં નથી. આને અહેસાન છે વડીલોનું કે આ વિઝન તબલીગનું જારી રાખ્યા છે, ડિસ્પાઇટ લોટ ઓફ ઓપોઝિશન ઓવર ધ યર્સ. પણ વડીલો થામીને બેઠા કે આ કામ થવું જોઈએ, અને થઈ રહ્યું છે. અને મને ઘણા મોટા દેખાય છે જે શાંતિથી નામ વગર સપોર્ટ આજ સુધી કરતા રહ્યા છે. દર અઠવાડિયે કાં પોતે આવે છે, કાં કોઈ માણસને મોકલે છે, એન્વેલોપ ને રોકડા કાં ચેક, કે અમારો કોન્ટ્રીબ્યુશન અઠવાડિયાનો. જે મોહમ્મદભાઈ ગયા વખતે કહી ગયા, મોહમ્મદભાઈ હેમાની કહી ગયા વખતે કે આપણને ઇજાઝો મળ્યો છે, ખુમ્સનો પહેલો ઇજાઝો તબલીગના કારણે. એટલે મારી સમજમાં એ થાય છે કે તબલીગ ન હોય તો ઇજાઝો ન હોય. તો મારા મગજમાં એ વિચાર આવે છે કે જો તબલીગને પૂરો સાથ ન મળતો હોય તો ઇજાઝાનો પાયો શું? ચાલો એ હું વિચારવા માટે મૂકી જાઉં છું. વેરી ક્વિકલી, વડીલોની રજા હોય તો હું ઇંગ્લિશમાં બોલું. Thank you. It will be faster because there is very little time, and the chairman is here, he needs time to speak also. So, Bilal was established November 1972, registered as a society. To give you a flavor of the very first committee we had, Mullah Azkar Marhum was chairman, Marhum Raza Rafiq was vice chairman, Mohsin Jaffer secretary, Ali Muhammad Jaffer Sharif, Ahmad A.M. Jaffer, Ahmad Sharif Devji, all members, Mohammed Bhai Ghulam Hussain KG member, Muhammad Jaffer Ghulam Hussain KSIJ Marhum member, and Bashir Bhai Chandu Marhum were the first members of Bilal in 72. The early supporters, active workers and financial backers. Mohammed Bhai Ghulam Husain's name stands out at the top. Great supporter of Bilal right from the beginning. Ghulam Bhai Habib Abdalla Jan Muhammad Tomi Marhum, Marhum Abdalla Somji, who was also a committee member at some stage. Muhammad Ali Bhai Megji, then Africa Federation president. He is the one, as Muhammad Bhai told us, who floated a paper at the Tanga conference in 1964 when Bilal was first established in Tanzania. Then amongst the ongoing and strong supporters of Bilal include Abbas Bhai Nasser, who is here, longest serving chairman, Roshan Bhai Jaffer Ali Merali, Ahmad Bhai and Sikina Baidala. And Sikina Baidala stands out amongst the crowd of men for her dedicated, silent, continuous service for over 30 years. Until today, she serves Bilal, collects clothing, sorts them out, finds out in which center, where are the orphans, what are their ages, the children's ages, separates the clothes, packs them and brings them to Bilal, say, now go and deliver, here's the name of the family. So, silent but tremendous service. Husein Bhai Kaki, treasurer, still ongoing after 30 years of service. Mullah Sajjad Bishon, oldest serving member till today. He has retired, but he doesn't leave Bilal. He comes there every morning, although he doesn't get a pay. But he comes every morning to continue his work. And then, of course, we have Africa Federation, World Federation, and many others. And some I don't have their permission to name them, so I don't name them. Quickly, the governance of Bilal is there's a constitution, a board of trustees, a managing committee, and staff. And the current committee, Iqbal Bhai Sundarji, chairman, Shamsher Bhai Maoji, vice chairman, Mohamed Husein Somji, secretary, Husein Bhai Khaki, treasurer, Mukhtar Datu, assistant treasurer, Abbas Bhai Nasser, member, ex-chairman, Mustafa Haji, Hassan Ali Khaki, Murtaza Ghulam Sen, KG, and Muhammad Akbar Khattab. These are the current members of the committee. And the board of trustees, Ghulam Abbas Bhai Kaku as chairman of the board, Mohsin Bhai Khaki, Amir Ali Bhai Qasim Ali, Ahmad Bhai Dala, and Abbas Bhai Arwali, who make up the board. The vision, as you see here, is to expose the spirit of Islam as contained in the teachings of Ahlul Bayt and to support the development of spiritually strong, economically vibrant, educated, confident, and self-reliant Muslim communities. We want to move away from this charity complex that is so deeply entrenched in many of our activities. And our mission statement is that we are dedicated to the development of organized, self-governing Muslim communities. By 2025, Bilal Kenya supported communities will be self-governing, economically self-reliant, spiritually confident communities working closely together amongst themselves and with Bilal Kenya to improve the lives of their members. We have 6 main objectives: Tabligh at the centers that we support, and networking with other Muslim communities and intellectuals. Number 2, support other Shia centers across the country, beyond the 15 centers that we support at the moment. Number 3, promote economic development for self-reliance. Number 4, promote spiritual and scientific education. Number 5, enhance Bilal's center's governance capacity for democratic self-management. And number 6, enhance Bilal's internal management capacity to do the work. The infrastructure we have at the moment is 15 mosques and madrasas in the 15 different centers. And at the center there is a mosque with a ladies section, a malim house, in some more than one malim house, a madrasa come nursery school classrooms. There's water in all the centers, either a well or a borehole, and where the water is salty, we have solar salt water desalination plants. We have 11 of them around the country. 9 are at our centers. One is at the Husseini Mosque in Mombasa, Old Town, and one is at Pate Secondary School in Lamu. And then we have modern agriculture demonstration farms in the centers. We have 6 tailoring schools, 2 computer schools, and we have laptops and projectors and IT equipment in most of the centers. We are expanding to all the centers as we get proper power connections. And then we have a new center we established a couple of years ago, Imam Rida Center in Mtongwe, which is a modern building with 3 blocks, a mosque, upstairs for ladies, a ghusl khana, wudu area and toilets, a malim house, hall, library and student accommodation for 15, offices for center administration, classrooms for madrasa, tailoring, computer training, nursery, a garden and a play area, an urban agriculture demo farm, solar water desalination plant, solar and wind generated power station. This is the first NGO in the country with a wind generated power, so we don't use electricity, and it's a three-way connection. You have wind, enough wind in Tongwe, so it's charging all the batteries. If the wind falls, the solar picks up. If both of them fail, then the power picks up, the grid picks up. But our bill has gone from something like 25,000 shillings a month to a few hundred. And then there are what we call Bilal clones, new centers developing around the larger Bilal centers, a few kilometers away, 4, 5, 3, 2, 9, and there are 30 plus independent centers surrounding Bilal. And we support them with training, iftar and food relief, and other support services when our resources allow. Nationally, we have over 100 Shia centers in Kenya, and I would safely guess that there are more than 10,000 Shia families in the country, families. So multiply that by between 2 and 5. We even have 3 Shia Somali centers in Nairobi, in Garissa, and in Isiolo. We have 95 staff in the 15 centers and 23 staff at headquarters, which includes staff for admin, media. The cameraman here is our media person, inspectorate, Tabligh inspectorate, accounts, support staff, and interns. The number of families directly supported in the 15 centers are 3,718 heads of families at the moment. These are the Lawajam paying members. So they have then wives and children. And as we do our statistics, there are 301 orphans that we support and need further support, and 119 disabled people, and over 400 old people who are unable to work and provide for themselves. In terms of center establishment, somebody keep an eye on the time and tell me when I have 5 minutes. Now, okay. So I'm going to jump. Tabligh activities at the centers are normally the usual activities that happen in our mosques: namaz, Tuesday, Thursday dua, Friday Jummah, lectures after Maghribain, majalis, wafat, kushali, Muharram, julus, daily majlis in Muharram, Ramadan, iftar, daily duas, dua iftitah, amal of Laylatul Qadr, Eid Salat, fitra distribution. Whatever we do here, we repeat in the centers. Madrasa, very much like what we have, except the timings are different. There's ladies classes in the morning, afternoon classes for children, and full-time Saturday and Sunday madrasa. We have a lot of sadaqah distribution, especially Qurbani goats, food aid, drought relief, and niyaz during Muharram Wafat and Kushali nights, and Mahr Ramadan, of course. We also have a lot of welfare distribution that supports needy Shia with medical assistance, rent subsidies, students' basic requirements like uniforms, transport, food aid, burial expenses, marriage expenses. So you can say we have learnt a lot from the Khoja Jamaats, and what happens here we copy because it's good practice. We have a lot of interfaith activities, visiting churches, inviting Christians and Sunnis, having discussions, speaking at national days of government, inviting secondary schools and universities to come and visit, or visiting when invited to speak at schools and universities. We have a correspondence course that has a global footprint, and all our new students, before they get a scholarship, must pass the course. We have online media, lectures, dua, and live program on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and FM radio. Mahr Ramadan, Muharram programs on FM radio and social media. Our viewership is over 4,000. And we work cooperate closely with Sautiapani FM radio to cover all these programs. And then we have 15 nursery schools with trained ECD teachers and 15 IRE, qualified IRE teachers who are posted to primary schools where our children are going, so that they get a Shia input as well, because the IRE government syllabus has a very small Shia input. So to balance that. Then we have education scholarships, BLESS and ZCSS, Bilal Loan Education Sponsorship Scheme, and Zainabia Child Sponsorship Scheme, and then other donors. So we have, since 2000, we have had 300 students supported in secondary schools. We have an alumni of 60 members on our WhatsApp group, and many of them are now in county and government officers. They have degrees in maritime management, education, accounting, many CPAs, masters in religious studies, medical, multimedia, mass media, biochemist, architect, procurement managers, ECD teachers, diploma in primary teaching and special needs education. This is a flavor of the range of support we have given for education. And still studying project management, supplies management, human resource management, ICT, BSc, commerce, ECD and education. In terms of our development activities, we have a microcredit loan scheme for women groups, which was first started in 2009 when funds were initially donated by the Mohsin and Tasneem Megji Foundation of the US. This is a revolving loan. We have 440 members in 17 groups, and total businesses supported to date are 1,073. Posho mills, brick making, water tanks, dressmaking, kiosks, M-Pesa float shops, hair salons, water wells, perfumery shops, and the list goes on. We have 6 tailoring schools. 179 students have graduated. They do the government curriculum test. We have a live goat scheme. We have convinced many of our donors who are giving sadaqah qurbani to convert them to be live goats. So we give 4 female and 1 male live goat to a needy family to grow them. And we don't have multimedia chance here, but otherwise would have shown you lots of videos and photos of how old women who can't farm have grown their 4 goats into 17, 19, 24. Then they exchange 5 of them for a cow. So now they have milk in the house and they have a cow to farm their land, to plow their land. We are making reusable sanitary pads for schoolgirls so that they don't miss school. And we have distributed around 2,500 already to local schools in surrounding our centers. Similarly with abayas, solar lights to every home, so that children can study at night. Computer tablets in all our nursery schools, loaded with software from the Aga Khan, from the Khan Academy and from government syllabus. We have grid, solar or wind power in all our centers now. I told you about boreholes and wells we have, and we have a project starting on improved housing. You know how people live in the terrible conditions of mud and sticks and stones. It rains and the house is gone. So now we are using stabilized soil brick machines, hand pressed, making bricks, training the boys to improve the housing. And we want to start a plastic recycling plant so that there's employment for youths in Tongwe. And then of course we have the support of Jaffery Medical Clinic visiting our centers regularly and helping tremendously with medical treatment. The centers, as we talk about self-management, there are committees, like we have our committees, they have their committee for the general community, there's committee for education, there's committee for development, there's committee for madrasa, there's committee for the mosque, there's women's committee, there's a development committee, they organize themselves, and every member pays a lawajam of between 30 and 50 shillings a year, which they then utilize to do minor repairs. We conduct training on committee management, and now they've started youth volunteer groups to serve their own communities. Young boys get together, and Shokat Bhai is here. He was my captain when I was a volunteer in the 60s and early 70s. So we are following your nyayos and starting committees. Finally, two things. Future challenges. We need to have our own hausa, and our idea is to have a hausa come agriculture school, so that every muballigh who comes out of there has a dual qualification. He has trained skills in agriculture, food production, machinery repair, whatever, and a practicing Shia. He can then decide to become a malim or not, but he is set for life without having to figure out where he is going to get an income, which madrasa he will run. We need a purpose-built Shia center in central Mombasa. This is critical. We need our own building with a place for Muslim women to engage our Shia sisters, a women's madrasa, a library, Bilal offices, prayer hall, etc. But as elders, I urge you to think about this seriously, because we are surrounded by challenges. The radio stations are booming abuse at us. We have no place. Old Town is no longer a place to be in. Yesterday it took me an hour to get out of the office because the street sewer had burst and we could not cross. So everybody had to reverse and jam up and trying to get out to the main road. It took an hour when it takes 2 minutes normally. Then focus on women's religious education is very important. Governance and management training of staff, so we can achieve the objective, and the community elected leadership, we can achieve the objective of independence. Internet coverage and linkage of all Shia centers. This morning I was fortunate to get a chance to speak to the head of M-Pesa Foundation and Safaricom Foundation about establishing an internet network for all our centers. So inshallah, we pray this works out. We need to outreach beyond the 15 centers in Kwale. We need to concentrate on improving education and establish secondary schools with a Shia syllabus. We need to strengthen management capacity and provide a greater role to women and youth, and strengthen Bilal's financial base. Right now we are running at a huge deficit. And we need to establish economic sustainability programs in the centers in terms of commercial farming, wholesale retail shops, rental housing, fee-paying schools, environmental businesses, recycling, agro-processing. There's enough knowledge here to advise us. All you need to do is come up with ideas and talk to us and tell us this is, guide us, hold our hand on how to do it best, because we don't know how to do it. And finally, to expand Tabligh efforts through on humanitarian basis, through development, education, welfare actions, poverty alleviation, community libraries, having PA systems in the mosques to announce films and support of independent centers. We need to do more Tabligh outreach beyond the community we are serving, to the larger village community we have. Conclusion. Allow me 1 minute, Mr. Chairman, for my quick 5 points. Wanting for others what we want for ourselves is the motto we have established for ourselves. We work with those who care for dignity. And your support is critical in building the strength of the Shia community. Bilal is one route. There are other routes, but we have an obligation to build the strength of the Shia community. And I would urge us to have a 20-year vision and not a short-term vision. Where do we want to be in 20 years? What should be our legacy in spreading the message of the Holy Household? as we age, what do we leave behind? Let us not repeat the mistakes of Zanzibar, Uganda and Somalia. Give Bilal your khums, or at least part of it. Your donations, adopt a center. I didn't speak about it because there's no time. Put money into our foundation center. Do fund Sawabe Jariya projects. We have permission from Africa Federation to collect khums and spend the same imam. If you have archival photos and videos of any work with Bilal, please give us. This is our 50th year, and we want to celebrate with our history. Finally, unfortunately, we have many detractors. This is sad, but this is the reality. And we say to them, if you can't help us, please don't hinder. Adopt a policy of do no harm. If you can't do good, do no harm. This is Imam's work. We are all his volunteers. Join us and be useful, or stay away quietly and let the Imam appoint those he wants to continue his work. We compete with nobody except ourselves. We're open to partnerships and cooperation with everybody. We constantly challenge ourselves, our work styles and activities, all aimed at self-improvement, better management, greater efficiency, cost effectiveness, and real empowerment. We are very, very conscious on a daily basis that we are dealing with hukuk funds. And this is a great responsibility and an answerable responsibility. So please, we are open to constructive criticism, suggestions, advice, and assistance from all stakeholders. And we listen carefully to our staff and the communities we serve as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity. And thank you for listening to me. Allah
ભાઈઓ કોકે મને કીધું છે કે જન્નત જવું હોય ને તો એક શોર્ટકટ છે કે તું કોઈ પણ એક નોન શિયા અને શિયા બનાવો. હવે મારા તમારામાં તો એવી આવડત નથી કે એવી તાકાત નથી કે એવો અનુભવ નથી. અહીંયા આપણી પાસે બિલાલ મિશન છે. તો લેટ અસ ઓલ સપોર્ટ એન્ડ મુર્તઝાભાઈ, ઇકબાલભાઈ, અબ્બાસભાઈ, કોંગ્રેચ્યુલેશન્સ ફોર એ જોબ એક્સ્ટ્રીમલી વેલ ડન. નોટ વેરી વેલ ડન બટ એક્સ્ટ્રીમલી વેલ ડન. તો ભાઈઓ આપણે આ બિલાલ સાથે સાથે હાથ મળાવીને વધી આગળ અને ધર્મના પ્રચારમાં ભાગ લઈ પ્રમોટ કરીએ અને આપણી જન્નત મુકર્રર કરીએ. મુર્તઝાભાઈ, thank you very much for coming. Unfortunately, time is short, but we promise you we'll call you again. And this time we'll come with the slides and everything. Sawa? Okay. Bye. Now I go to the short ones. We are fortunate today. Now I'll speak in English. You guys think we don't know English, we speak English also. We have got about 6 boys, 6, correct? 6 boys, our grandchildren from London who have come here on a holiday come charity work. They have come on their own expenses. They are here for a week or 10 days, something like this, and they are doing separate charities. 2 of them are here. હવે મેં એ લોકોને કીધું કે don't tell me whose son you are, because your father must have gone before long time ago, but maybe he was born there. So tell us whose grandson you are, so we will immediately recognize you. So sir, can I give you the platform?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you all a heartfelt Kushali Mubarak on the birth anniversary of our 8th Imam, Imam Rida alayhi salam. Wa salli ala Muhammad. My name is Askar Ali Jaffer. I am Akhtar Jaffer's son and Marhum Mullah Askar Imam Jaffer's grandson. First and foremost, I'd take this opportunity to thank Mason Uncle Megji for the opportunity to come here and share a bit about what we're doing today on this trip with you all. We're here on behalf of Soash Relief Society. It's a charitable society that I formed with a close friend of mine at university, and we worked in partnership with Husein Foundation to deliver 3 projects across East Africa. The projects are in Mombasa, Mbeya and Kinshasa. We're providing in Kinshasa water facilities for over 10,000 people. In Mbeya, we're providing cataract eye surgeries for many communities. And in Mombasa here, we're providing rehabilitation of street children. I'm sure you all know better than I do the situation of the street children in communities that neighbor this one. And what we've done is we've worked with Husein and other third-party charities within Mombasa and the local community to inshallah help children get onto the right path, get away from the street and all the limiting factors that are affecting them. We visited Glad's house this morning. It was our first day visiting the facility, and we got to meet some of the children and understand and learn about their circumstances and what has led to these sort of the circumstances, which has been really difficult for some of us. Growing up in London, we are not privy to some of the things that we've heard and seen today, but inshallah we're here for a good cause, and we can raise as much money as possible to fulfill what we've come here to do. So as Uncle mentioned, there's 6 of us who have come from London. We're all university students. We all go to the same 2 universities. And our primary goal was to, within the universities, encourage community or encourage a culture for charity work. Something that I've been passionate about, Rosh has been passionate about growing up. So it's something we wanted to extend to our non-Muslim brothers in university, and alhamdulillah we've managed to do that somewhat. So finally, I'd just like to say again, thank you for your continued support, and thank you for the opportunity. And inshallah, if you'd like to share your generosity, please do let me know, and we can facilitate that for you. Ahsan, thank you.
આ મુલા આસ્કરના ગ્રાન્ડસન છે. આપણી સાથે બીજો છોકરો છે, એ પોતાને ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરે. કોનો ગ્રાન્ડસન છો?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Roshan Ali Murali, and I am Roshan Chuzi's grandson.
તમે જોવો છો આ બે ગ્રાન્ડફાધર મુલા આસ્કર તો માશાલ્લાહ લેજન્ડ થઈ ગયા. રોશન ચૂઝી આપણા મોમ્બાસાના હતા અને ખૂબ કોમની સેવા કરી છે, ખૂબ સખાવત કરી છે, અને વી સ્ટીલ મિસિંગ. તો યુ આર ફોલોઈંગ ધ રાઇટ ફૂટ સ્ટેપ્સ, એન્ડ ગોડ બ્લેસ યુ, એન્ડ વી આર વેરી પ્રાઉડ ઓફ યુ. Now, gentlemen, we have another doctor here, our own boy who is a doctor now in Birmingham. So I'll request him to say a few words also, introduce himself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Masum Uncle, for this opportunity. For those who don't know me, I am Shiraz Ghulam Hussein's son, Mohamed Ali Ghulam Hussein manager's grandson. We have grown up here on this ground over here, spent lots of time on this ground. I don't have much to say. I live and work in Birmingham. I studied there. I am a GP by trade, but it's this community, it's this club, it's the people over here who have given us the grounding that we are now perhaps excelling where we are and being successful in our communities. And so the message today is I just wanted to say thank you. In one way or another, we have all been brought up by this community in many ways, madrasa, club, school, in the mosque, in the Imam Bara. And all of us remember our time over here very, very, very fondly. We think about it often, and we talk about it often whenever we meet abroad. And so I don't want to take up much time, but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And we think of this place very fondly, and sometimes we wish you could come back too. That's all. Salawat.
You see, to be a chairman is easy, but when your secretary is around you, he sort of bullies you. I have my secretary, Mohamed Mohsin Kaki, Education Board. He's insisting me in telling the boys that please do visit the school. Your grandfathers have studied in that school, so it will be a nice memory. Now, gentlemen, we come to another great event. We are very grateful to our President, Murabi Dr. Mohamed Jaffer, to be here with us, and he's got lot to say and lot to donate. Mohamed bhai, before I forget, we want to thank you for these bowls. અને આવી રીતના જ હવે નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ જરાક સોનાના અને એવા મોકલાવો છો સમાજ. તો મોહમ્મદ ભાઈ, ઇટ્સ ઓલ યોર્સ.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm really nice to see such a good crowd. And I'm now pleased even to say that I think very soon I want to take the charge of Masum Bhai and become the president of the seniors than to be president of the, because in my, when I call a general meeting, even I don't get this crowd. So I think it's better that I become the chairman now. I tell Masum Bhai, you take that chair, I better come over here. Okay. One thing, I'm proud to be Khoja Shia internationally. This is the community which I always have said that we are together at the time of problems. But we run away when there is a happiness. This many times wonders me. આજે સિપ્તેન અગર એ મેરેજ હશે તો હું જોઈશ મને બોલાવ્યો નથી સિપ્તેન, હું શા માટે જાઉં એના વિવાહમાં, એના ઘરના વિવાહમાં. એ બાપા આપણો ભાઈ છે, ભૂલી ગયો હશે, ફોન નહીં કર્યો હોય, ખુશીનો મોકો છે, લેટ્સ ગો ટુગેધર. પછી જો ખુદા ન ખાસ્તા એના ઘરમાં મરણ હશે ને તો મને બોલાવ્યું કે ના બોલાવ્યું, આઈ એમ ધેર. બરાબર છે? વાય કાન્ટ વી એડોપ્ટ to be in happiness together also, because we are one community, we are one. That is one thing which I wanted to tell the community. And second thing, please, this is your community, at least attend your AGM. Don't you have a ownership of these things? Is it only we go to the mosque for Khushali, Wafat and for Majlises, and then also criticize the Jamaat from sitting from outside? What is this, my dear brothers? Why don't you come in? Because listen, every person has got head in his shoulder, on his shoulder. He will be able to say something to us which we do not know, the management doesn't know, can adopt it. હું તમને એક જ વાત હું પાછી રિપીટ કરું છું કે પહેલાં બોલી ગયો છું પણ પાછી રિપીટ કરું છું. અમે લોકો જ્યારે બધું બનાવતા હતા ને પહેલાં તો મેં કીધું કે આઈ એમ નોટ ગોઈંગ ટુ લિસન ટુ એનીબડી, લેટ્સ ગો અકોર્ડિંગ ટુ ધ પ્લાન્સ. પછી જ્યારે બહુ ફૂજો શરૂ થયો ને તો મેં કીધું કે આપણે લેટ્સ કોલ એવરીબડી એન્ડ ડિસ્કસ વોટ ડુ દે થિંક વોટ વી આર ડુઈંગ. ધીસ સિપ્તેન હી ગોટ અપ એન્ડ સેડ, આ તમે બનાવ્યું છે બરાબર, ચાલો કોઈ ચેક કરવા નીકળ્યા, બધું બરાબર છે, તો કે આ ટોયલેટ તમે જે નાખી છે ને અંદર એ વાશ હાઉસ. વેરી ટ્રુ, વી હેડ ફોરગોટન અબાઉટ ઇટ. ઇમિડિયેટલી યુસુફ વોઝ ધેર. આઈ સેડ યુસુફ આ સોનાની વાત કીધી છે તો આ ટોયલેટ બારે આવી. યુ સી, ધીસ ઇઝ ધ થિંગ. Constructive criticism is always good, and be positive, not negative. Negatives will take us behind. Positives will take us in front. So please, even if something is said by somebody, try to see in a positive way, not in negative way. And ત્રીજું, આજે કેમ કે વધારે મોટો ક્રાઉડ છે, હું લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ બોલી ગયો તો હું પાછી રિપીટ કરીશ કે આપણે છે ને બેગેજ લઈએ. મને મહમ્મદભાઈ આમ કીધા હતા એટલે હું કીનો રાખું, પછી મને ચાન્સ મળે ને તો મમ્મીભાઈને પાછો આપું. હલો બાપા, વાય આર યુ કેરિંગ ઓલ દેટ લેગેજ? ધેર ઇઝ નો નીડ ઓફ ઇટ. Forget it and forgive. Some items you don't forget, but forgive. What's the problem, Baba? This is our brothers. These are one of, we are one. We are the only one we are going to bury each other and say Fatiha. We will progress. And now, with the present economical conditions which we are going into, we have to be more united. Things are getting very bad. What you are seeing is only the tip of iceberg. We have to unite, we have to trust each other, and we have to work for the benefit of all of us together. If we don't become this, we'll be nobody, because you can break these fingers very easily. But we become this, it's difficult to break. It is high time, because the situation what is now, You know your fuel price is going to 200 shillings a litre. Just imagine that. Your food prices are not going to increase, but increase there. It's not going to decrease. It's going to increase. Is our income increasing? What shall we do? We have to feed our people. How do we do it? In the Second World War, in England, when the situation like this came, what did they do? They do a group kitchen. Think about it. I think a time has come, is coming to that level. We might have to do a group kitchen. That every food, the food is cooked here and is being sent to every houses, so that every Khoja Sheikh naturally has got on table a meal. This is coming. What is it? It's not a management, but executive committee is going to do. No. It has to come from us. You people have to bring it together, and we have to do together. I can see that Murtaza is doing too well. I think he should bring some of the ideas of microfinancing, especially in our community. We started, I think, Masum Bhai started the microfinancing. We put about 600,000 shillings. It lied in the bank for 6 months, and nobody took advantage of it. What is it? We have to teach them. Not that people don't need money, but these things has to come in. One, as Mohamed Bhai, you said very well about the Africa Federation last Friday. But I would like to correct some situation. Africa Federation gave us a permission to use $2 million for this complex, especially this one, GIC, out of which about $500,000 came from the kitty of the Africa Federation to us because of this man. He had Kum's money lying there. I said, "Bhai, humne Kum's nahi maltu," and he gave us. Total Kum's we collected from the 2 million which we are allowed to use it. We have got is 740,000, not 2 million. I just wanted to correct the situation, so that people should know कि भाई $2 million આવ્યા હતા ગયા ક્યાં સોલા હિસાબમાં આવે એટલી સોલા એને હિસાબ દઈ શકે હવે મેં પ્રોમિસ કર્યું હતું આપણે ગુસલ કફન કમિટીને કેમ કે આપણી ગાડી ઓલી સાવ ખલાસ થઈ ગઈ હતી ને એક દિવસ એની મારી આગળ જ હતી મેં કીધું જો આ ગાડી ઊભી રહી જાય તો આ મૈયતની શું હાલત થાય મેં કીધું કાલે કદાચ હું અંદર હોઉં તો. So I promised them, and I'm proud. This donation is from the seniors. So I would like seniors to hand over this key to the Gufal Kafan committee, and I'll request them, the chairman, the chairman, to come and collect it from our Buzurg. Plus, I would like you to sell that one and put that money in your kitty for your developments. Come.
આમ ફરીથી એવું છે અને હાથમાં ચાવી લઈ લે.
I'd like to thank all the seniors and Mohamed Jaffer Bhai and the whole community for the gift, and also for all the cooperation we get from you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is now yours, my dear. Thank you very much. Forget you. It's your paper.
But this is from seniors, eh? Because we are what they are, okay?
I'm a Curso, modified Curso.
Diesel like a petrol, question है. Diesel like a petrol. Hello, race में probably. Hello, diesel like a petrol.
Oh, datang aja datang.
What? Oh, silent. Eh?
Shade cup से?
Sorry.
Shade ना किधर नहीं है तेरा?
इधर रजा नहीं बात. Hello. इधर रजा नहीं.